Hello everyone and welcome to the Scylla guide. And before we get started, I just wanted to say Scylla is one of my favorites. And I love Scylla very much. I find that she's really strong. And most people know her as the late game. She is the essence of late game. So the biggest problem you're going to have with her is early. Because her wave clear early is atrocious. She has a really hard time laning early. So if you're up against Scylla, punish her before she can get to her late game. That's all I have to say about that. Punish her. And if you have a Scylla on your side, be a very nice jungler and help them out. You can just go into lane, help them clear the lane out once in a while. They will actually appreciate it because they have a hard time clearing waves. But now, without further ado, let's take a look at our skills. Oh, not that, skills. First, each of Scylla's abilities gain an additional effect at max rank. In addition, Scylla gains 20 magical power for each max ranked ability. You will not see this passive really kick in until you get one of your ranks, one of your abilities max strength, of course. Okay, so pretty much Crush. Crush is your big wave clear. It's your big damage source. Okay, what does it do exactly? It's a ground target AoE. Radius is about 20 meters. And it's a pretty solid ability. This is what you're going to want to max first. Scylla creates a magical field slowing enemies slowing enemies in it. And it deals damage. Pretty much, okay, 90 damage at the lowest ranks up to 280. You think that's not bad, right? That should be able to take care of minion waves at all levels? No, not really, no. 30% slow is actually pretty nice. And what you really like here is that max rank enemies in the area also have their magical protections reduced. And targets in the, and the targets hit by the damage are slowed for a duration of an additional second. So it is really strong. So you can keep people slowed to the point where pretty much you can land your ultimate really successfully. And what's here? The protection debuff. A max strength 25% magical protection debuff, which is pretty massive. You're taking a lot of their protections away. So pretty much maxing your Crush is what you're going to want. Your Sikkim. Sikkim is your snare. This is what you're going to want to really just max out second. Okay? Pretty much it's a line shot where it's actually a slow moving line shot, so people can dodge this pretty easily. But once you practice with her enough and you can get it down, it is a very devastating because you can go into Sikkim, into Crush, immediately into I'm a Monster. And the root durations go from 1.15 seconds to 1.75 seconds, so it's not a very large duration, but it's long enough for what you need to do. And it does a damage from 60 to 260 lowest to max rank. Now Sentinel. This is pretty much your escape. This is your escape, pretty much. Yeah, that's all it is. That's all it will do for you. Passively, it'll give you MP5. It'll give you vision range wherever you summon in. In a summon range from 65 to 70 at max rank. So I mean, the stats are not really that great for like maxing it out first. So pretty much you don't want this. You don't want to max out this first. This is the last thing you want to max out. Now I'm a Monster. This is your big damage from 400 damage at lowest rank to 800 damage without any additional items. That is a massive nuke. It's also a very slow moving nuke to begin with. But when you're in your I'm a Monster form, you gain a movement speed from 35 at lowest rank and at max rank 70%. But that movement speed doesn't increase until you hit max rank with I'm a Monster. So I mean, at level 20 you are a menace. you're getting an additional 80 damage just from your passive alone at level 20. And that's why she is a very strong late game god. Because with 80 damage, 80 magical power, that is about... That's a couple of... That's actually a really strong item all by itself for free. So with Scylla, you're really looking for levels. Now, in early game, you're going to want the Vampiric Shroud for the MP5, of course, the additional HP, and the magical power it gives you. And also the health you get from killing minions is really nice. So Vampiric Shroud is a need. Here they suggest Lost Artifact. I don't quite agree with it, to be honest. I like to pick up Lost Artifact later down the road. Here, depending on what I feel like I'm going to be doing. If I'm going to be a very aggressive Scylla and just be in their face, then I'm going to want Warlock Sash. I don't really need to worry about the damage output because I'm Scylla. I got that damage in my passive anyway. But if you want even more damage, you could go Book of Thoth, but you don't get much survivability out of that. That's why I prefer to get the Warlock Sash, the tier 1 Warlock Sash instead. And this should conclude your starting items because that's 700 gold for both of them. And usually that additional HP is going to be what saves you. So at this point you get about 200 additional HP in the early game. And then you're going to want to get your Warlock Sash pretty much maxed out. You want to get it as soon as possible. You should be able, if you're doing well and your jungler comes in and helps you clear clear the wave so you don't lose any minions to the tower, then you can pretty much expect to get the Warlock Sash around at the earliest 8 minutes. No, probably 5 minutes. Somewhere in that range. You want to get it from somewhere between 5 minutes to somewhere at the late 7, early 7 minutes. That's where you're going to want it. Of course, 7 minutes is if you're doing poorly and you got ganked once or twice, which will be incredible. But let's just say we got it early because we were just able to farm up. Our jungler helped us out. Okay, Warlock Sash, right? We got that. We're going to want more power, right? We're going to want Shoes of the Magi. You're wondering why not Shoes of Focus if everything has a large cooldown, because if we take a look at our abilities, they have pretty large cooldowns, 10 seconds, 10 seconds, 90 seconds, and 15 seconds, pretty much for everything. Pretty large cooldowns. But the thing is, we don't want Shoes of Focus because we're not looking to spam abilities. We're looking for each ability to just downright eradicate our opponent. And pretty much our team is going to be there to buy us time so we can use our abilities again. That's what our team is there for. So that's why we want the Shoes of the Magi's. The additional mana is actually pretty nice too. It will offset the fact that we have the Warlock Sash. Now here we are. We're probably got a, maybe a kill, or we helped with an assist. Probably along the line. We ganked, the jungler ganked the mid laner, and we're doing pretty okay. You can go after the Riot Tahuti if you're doing really well. But if not, you could instead of go with the Absurd Shard. Why this
Obsidian?
Obsidian Shard. Yeah, sorry. Why would you want this? Yes, it is absurd. But why would you want the Obsidian Shard over the Spear of the Magus? Due to the fact that she doesn't do any tick damage whatsoever. So the Spear of the Magus will not really help you out in that, pretty much in that effect. But then again, the Obsidian Shard, it's that's what you need. That's what you're gonna want, because it's all about the instant burst damage with 1 or 2 abilities. Because one, you want to use your Sentinels to set up the kill, and use your Crush or your ultimate to get the kill, and that's pretty much what it is. So if you're feeling that you need some penetration now, we can go for the cheaper route, the Obsidian Shard. But if we want more power, we can go for the Rotted Tahuti. And since we're at this point, we're up against someone who's kind of squishy. He doesn't really have any magical resist yet, or none of the opponents really bought into magic resist, so we don't have to worry about it right now. We can go for the more expensive item, the Rod of Tahuti. So, by just observing and taking a look and hitting the tab, we can just take a look and see what the opponent has and just build accordingly. At this point, we're going to want to get the penetration sooner or later anyway. They suggest the Cronus Pendant. I feel that's kind of a waste. It's quite a bit of gold.
The pen.
No, I still feel it's kind of a waste. One, at this point, at the max levels, at the very late game, it's not very good due to the fact that you're not going to need the additional MP5 for your mana, because you're going to have your Sentinel, and you also have the Rod of Tahuti, and that's usually enough to keep your mana at a decent level throughout an entire fight or two fights. The cooldown is kind of nice, but you don't really need cooldown if your allies are doing what they're supposed to doing and buying you time. So pretty much, and the damage is okay-ish for the price you're paying. So to be honest, I'd rather go with the Obsidian Shard at this point. One, you lose on about 5 power compared to the Chronos Pendant, but you gain something that's really crucial, the magical penetration. Because no doubt at this point, at least their support will have magical protections, or have the aura that gives magical protections. So you're gonna want
Actually, here's a fun thing. I'm gonna help you out there. Everything in Smite, every god, gets to naturally level up their magical armor, essentially. Except for the mage. The mage always stays at a constant 30. Don't believe me? Look at your stats. You could easily do so by pressing I or going over to your stat.
Or looking into the corner here and see it is still at 30, and I am at level 20. Fun little fact.
Now remember, that penetration always helps. Never say she doesn't need it.
Nope.
Because without that penetration, you could just have a dud, and then they get away.
Nah. I wouldn't say it was unnecessary. I'm just saying at early levels they usually don't have enough protections to save themselves from your burst. But in later games they most likely will. Here they're suggesting some more weird items like Soul Reaver, Magi's Blessing, Spirit Robe, Breastplate of the Valor. I don't quite agree with a lot of these. To be honest, I'm Scylla. I am just a evil little girl, and I want more power. That's what I'm all about. Just getting that power and bursting them down. We could go with the Bancroft Talon, because for 24,000 gold, or 2,400 gold, we get 100 magical power, which is a lot for that amount of cash. Also, we get some lifesteal too to help us stay in lane. To be honest, you could probably pick this up. Instead of the Rod of Tahuti. Either or changeable. So depending on how soon you want to get the Rod of Tahuti. So we're going to pick up the Bancroft Talon. Now here we come to the late game. We are level 20. We can sell this now for something even more powerful. There's a lot of options, right? Yeah, you're right. Now, of course, their hunter's most likely going to have crits. You could go with the Legion Helm. What's this? Which one was it that prevents the? Yeah, it's the Legion Helm. Gives you some protections, gives you power, and also makes it so you can't get crit. And while it's on cooldown, you get even more magical power as well. So it's a really strong item against an enemy ADC that may be starting to carry the team. Like if they have an Artemis out there, and she's actually starting to, because she's going to be just as menacing as you are late game, if not worse, depending on the skill level. So getting the Legion Helm for that situation will actually be quite useful. But there's other items you can get if that's not the case. If that's not the case, you can go for some various other different items. Taking a look through here. I mean, we could always go for the ethereal staff. That's not a bad idea. You could pick up Gem of Isolation. Again, not a bad idea, because after hitting them with your various abilities, they're slowed, which leaves them even more vulnerable for your rest of the team. That may, I mean, that's assuming if they survive your initial power. But mainly, if we do go for Gem of Isolation, we're doing it for the additional HP and mana. Pretty much what we're looking for is pretty much to sustain in fights and just stay alive, because at that point we're the big target. We're the big menacing target on our team, and we want and then of course the enemy team is going to want us to die, because if we die, a lot of that damage is lost out on our side, right? Pretty much. So looking into something that will keep us alive while providing power is quite tricky. That's why I'm like looking at these other items. And also, the ethereal staff is actually probably the best buy for us right now, due to the fact it gives us 600 health, and it stacks really well with the Warlock Sash. So, to be honest with you, I think I'll go with this because, one, we're getting our magical increased power by 25% by our Rod Tahuti. Then, with our HP, we're getting our maximum health is converted to magical power as well. And having our Warlock Sash, well, it can only help us there, right? Now let's look into actives. We have greater purification, in case we don't want to use our I'm a monster to get away, because it has a pretty large cooldown. It has a pretty decent cooldown on it, and we might need that. So having purifications to eat up that cooldown instead of our ultimate could very well be the case. They suggest Combat Blink. To be honest, I don't feel Combat Blink is quite needed, due to the fact that you have Sentinel to help you get away. And you can use Sentinel from other sides of the wall. It's pretty much almost like a Janus portal, but not instantaneous. That's just the only problem with it. So we're going to go with Purification Beads, and let's go with, they say, Greater Aegis. But depending on the situation, you might want the Aegis Pendant. Greater Aegis provides something that the Aegis Pendant does not. The secondary passive on it, due to the fact that you're not able to move, for 4 seconds you take 20% less damage, which is really nice, especially if you're in those long engagements and it looks like you're about to eat a really big ultimate and you don't want to. And that means you can still stay in the fight, and they're still targeting you, but you're taking a little bit less damage. So it's pretty nice. And what the Aegis Pendant does, instead of giving you that buff, it allows you to be able to move around, but you can still be crowd controlled, which is the problem with it. So let's go with Greater Aegis, since I like living. I think living is a really good thing. Okay, so now we max out our 2 as soon as we can. So by level 5, we're going to want 2 levels into Crush, 1 level into Sentinel, 1 level into Sikkim, and 1 level into our ultimate. Okay, and pretty much what we're going to want to do is just use our Crush to clear minion waves, and we're going to max out our Crush. Then we want to max out our Sikkim as soon as possible, while putting points into our ultimate as soon as we can get them. Because the sooner we can get that maxed out, the better. Okay, and at this point is like we variant and we changed the yeah. Let me think of the words here. And oh my gosh, see, just from my Sentinel alone, it did so much damage, and I can use this. And right there, so much damage was put onto Agni from just my Crush alone at max level. With all my items I have in the unfinished Warlock Sash at 17 stacks, I have a power of 700 679. That is pretty massive.
Versus my 644.
Yeah, so naturally she's going to have more power than any other mage, or in late game anyway. But in early game, that's where she is the weakest. So that's why I said if there's an enemy Scylla, you want to pick on her, keep her down as much as possible. And it's right there. You can use the Sentinel to get away pretty easily. And like I said before, you can use the Sentinel to get around walls. Like you can use this little trick here. Look. And right now I can see over in that area. And I can go right there, activating it when I wish, by hitting the 3 button again. So pretty much you can use it to scout out mid-camps when mid-camps are about to spawn. And see if it's safe to go and take it. And when you find it's safe to take it, you have a few seconds to reactivate. So pretty much it is a really it's a really strong escape, I feel. It's an escape that not a lot of mids have. Agni, his escape is not really that... Are you going to try to bomb me? You going to try to bomb me? Huh?
No, I just wanted to show you my damage.
But yeah, of course you're still squishy. You just have a lot of HP. But yes, that is pretty much Scylla in a nutshell. I mean, even without like a stacked up Warlock status, I am able to dish out some really strong damage. Oh yes, that's right. I haven't showed the combo. The tasty, delicious combo.
No, I'm not here.
And as soon as I mentioned that, he is scared of me.
No combos. Only I do combos.
I don't know about that one. And of course, in late game, she's able to clear waves pretty effectively. Oh crap! I messed my ulti there. No, that's not a good thing. Okay, we're gonna cut it here, and we're gonna come back to me alive, and I'm gonna show you the ultimate pretty much. It's not.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's not gonna kill him right off the bat, like with just it alone. But
I'm sorry. I just I had that. It's Scylla chasing me. No, I will defend my body.
Yeah. Well, I said that she's my favorite, and I stand by it. I just made a little mistake there, and when you go all in like that,
it's okay.
It's all in or nothing. So we're gonna cut it here.
It's the same thing with Agni.
Shh. All right, we're gonna cut it here, and I'll be right back with you guys in a few seconds. So see you soon. And welcome back. And I just want to show you her ultimate. Pretty much what we're gonna do is just pop it, and we're gonna show you the damage, and pretty much this is I'm a monster, blah blah blah, and the damage. As you can see there, it takes a while to get for it to actually land on the ground and deal damage, but it did more than half of his HP, and that is just devastating.
Ooh!
Oh,
I hate you.
And the Aegis there.
No.
Well, now we're even.
There.
And pretty much that's Scylla for you. I mean, I feel I messed up a little bit here and there, but pretty much you get the general idea. Her laning stage early is, trust me, it is the weakest. She has the hardest time laning early. Her ability to clear waves is really weak. You'll probably find yourself ending up using your 2 and your 1 just to clear the wave, and yet having still a few minions get hit by the tower and losing them to that tower early. So that's why I suggest that if you have a Scylla on your side, help them out early, because just for that fact, you want to get a Scylla pretty much fed. You want her to get ahead in the lane, because a fed Scylla is a scary Scylla. And I believe my friend here can attest to that.
Oh yeah, it's menacing.
But anyway, I hope you guys find this video enjoyable. I hope you found it informational, or and I hope you give her a try. And if you don't succeed at first, trust me, she's one of those guys where you just have to practice with her little by little, and pretty much you'll get better with her over time. That's the kind of guy she is, unfortunately. So, but like always, I'll see you guys in the next video. Later.